Hey everyone, Tom here from TechNexus, and thanks for joining me on the last video of our series for the week on advanced steel and Navisworks. So I've been playing around with the rendering a little bit on other projects, so I just wanted to show sort of what I've done and how I've done it, and just sort of a quick way of getting some, maybe even paint colors or materials onto our structural members. So on the top ribbon of the last section, it's got render, and you click on Autodesk rendering and it comes up with a whole bunch of materials. Now you can go through and modify these, but for today's video I just want it to be short and sweet and just apply some of these materials to some of these elements and then do a quick render. So I've noticed this joint box here that I want to hide, so I want to get rid of that and go to my home selection tree and then look for the dialog and hide it. So that's sort of really what I'm left with. So we can use a mix of selecting or the selection tree to apply materials. Now, I want my handrails all to be yellow. So we can go through and look for things like paint. So there's black paint, pink paint, white paint. I've got metallic paint. So there's some down here, sort of gold, lavender, lemon, chiffon. So if we wanted to look for the handrails, so we can either do it from these selections or again from the tree here. So I can select all of these and then select two more of these beams. And then what are these ones? These are special parts. So it looks like most of the handrails are under the standard anyway, and then I'm going to right click on lemon chiffon and say assign to selection, and you'll see it's changed color there. If I go back to the render tab and just do a low quality ray trace, you can see it comes out that kind of yellow color, which is just fine for me for now. That's just how I want to leave it. So the beams themselves, now they could be, it could just be stainless, so we can apply under a metal. We can go to steel and then do stainless as a metal steel. We can do fabricated, or we've got aluminium. We can anodize it. We can do metallic paint, so I might make it fire brick glazed. So if we ray trace that, you can see it comes out that kind of red color. And then if I don't like it, I can select the material and then remove all those, stop that, and then remove that material, and then we're back to sort of normal. So for the beams themselves, and what have we got? Again, with all the aluminium, it's not going to be anodized, it's not going to be chromed, it's not going to be gunmetal. We can do it as iron grey maybe. It's not plate, it's not rusty, it's not stainless. So I think the iron grey looks good. Assign to selection, so it's grey. The bolts themselves, so maybe we'll do them as stainless bright. And then the clip angles, so what can we do them as? Maybe do them as iron as well, iron grey. The gratings, so we do have some gratings, so diamond plate. The ladders themselves, so let's see if we've got some red paint in there. So glossy blue, black, looking for red. So we don't have a red, oh, we've got a light red. Light red for the ladders. The plates themselves, we'll make them the same as the steel, so just iron grey. And the welds, we don't want to see the welds anyway, so we'll just hide them. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm semi-happy with that for now. And I just want to change the mode. I want to put the background to be a horizon. Go OK. And then if we go to render, and then I do a medium ray trace. So depending on the PC, it might take a bit of time. And you might be able to hear it on the microphone that you can hear the fans spooling up on the PC, so it'll just go through and do its thing. Now, ultimately, I would put maybe a base on this as well, maybe to see some shadows, but for the time being, I'm just going to let that go through and render, and eventually it'll stop. So the other thing you need to maybe take into account as well is the lighting. So I'll do full lights and then go to render and do a low quality again. Okay, so that's 5 passes there. So let's have a look. If I zoom into here and I do another ray trace. Okay, so you can see sort of the diamond. It might be a bit hard to see in the video, but you can see the rendering coming through there. So that iron grey doesn't really look all that good. So I'm going to get rid of those. It just looks a little bit too black and dark for the image. So let's go back to home, selection tree, pick the beams again, and let's maybe make them maybe polished aluminium. So if we do a render on that, that looks a bit better, and as well you'll also see it looks like it's got some mirroring effect on that as well. So we'll do the same. So aluminium polished. Oh, they're stainless steel anyway, so clip angles, and they're going to be aluminium polished. Gratings, ladders, plates, aluminium polished, and then we do just a low quality ray trace again. And there you can see it looks a little bit better. So you can again play around with all of the settings in here. So if you want to change some of these, so if we go to aluminium polished, then you can edit, go through the material editor and then adjust anything in there as well. So it's the scene, so whether it's a sphere or a cube, just to get an idea on it, any relief patterns, cutouts, and tint. Again, all of this you can just go through and modify and play around with. So you'll eventually get the look and the feel that you want. And if I want to switch back to sort of a shaded mode, a full rendered, and then if I go to my view and change the background to be graduated, there you go, it looks a bit better there. So again, just do a render. So what I'll do, I can do a high quality, and then as I start it, it will take half hour or an hour, and then it'll go through and you'll produce you'll get a rendered image of this. So I'm not necessarily going to let that run. It just takes a bit of time. So again, thanks for watching. Thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't, but hopefully it's given you enough insight into how to apply some rendering materials and finishes to your advanced steel model, and then to produce some pretty pictures and renders of your design model there. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next week for some more, maybe some AutoCAD, might be some Format or Fusion. I'll have a think about it over the weekend, and then we'll do a whole nother week on something, and hopefully it gives you more insight into what you can do with your Autodesk collections. And I'll see you next week. See ya.